Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, I hope you're doing well. Karibuni sana. This is Kenya Revolutionary for another session. Karibu, karibu, karibu. Let me take a sip of kahawa. Ama namna gani? Hata nimeparara parara hapa na. Anyway, sorry for that. Karibuni, karibuni, karibuni. This is Kenya Revolutionary, as I said. Karibuni. As you can see, the topic is incurably corrupt Ruto's administration, including the opposing political coalition. They're all corrupt. But I want to dissect what's happening today, basically highlighting what is happening as we speak, the recent events. We are going to look at the Kalonzo Musyoka and Sifuna today were in the same church. And Sifuna was making it clear that he will not support this regime, despite the fact that some of his colleagues from ODM left ODM and went and joined the bread-based government and to support Ruto. And the remaining ones who are still in ODM, some of them, majority of them, are actively praising the president. And Sifuna said he doesn't care if he loses his seat as the Secretary General. He will stand for the truth and he will speak the truth. So help him God. So some people, there's speculation that maybe Sifuna might be looking at somewhere else, maybe joining Kalonzo's party or coalitions, whatever the case is. Maybe he might not run on an ODM ticket in 2027. We don't know. Is that a sign that maybe Sifuna might be contemplating handing in his resignation letter soon? Maybe we'll hear that. And also, of course, after he said that, also Opiyo and I had something to say to respond about what Sifuna said, okay? Also, we shall dig deep. Well, not dig deep, but we'll just highlight some of the past exchanges between Rigathi and Karua, who are now, political friends. They have a new alliance. They're working together as people from the same tribe or region or whatever the case is. And also, Francis Gaitho kind of mentioned something that was very interesting regarding the attempted bribing of the AUC candidate, the Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, who will be running against Raila. Now, he said something that I found very interesting, and I will read the tweet to you so that we can go to it together. It explains why, remember, when this whole thing started, there was a Somali candidate who also was vying for that AUC seat, but she abruptly just stepped down and fully endorsed Raila Odinga. Could it be that she took the bribe? We shall examine that too. Let's get started with all this drama. Again, Jubilee, for those of you who don't know, who live in under a rock, Jubilee has also came out publicly to announce that their presidential candidate will be none other than Fred Matiangi, the same recycled, politically corrupt people. Okay, so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. Let me not waste your time. Let's get into it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Are we going to get to it? Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right, let me get started. Tuanze maneno sawa. Okay, let's see here if I can only get my stuff together here. All right, let's start with Mr. the Energy Secretary of Energy, Opiyo and I. Opiyo and I had some, or maybe let me just start with Sifuna. Sifuna was in a church somewhere in Nairobi where he was accompanied by Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka is also doing his rounds. He's trying to find. Remember these guys, earlier this year, Kalonzo, Kioni, Wamalwa, they were really moving around every part of the country, from Western Province, Central, meeting up with Uhuru, meeting up with the former, the president's son, Gideon Moi, try to form alliances. We even saw Kalonzo somewhere in, I don't know, it was in Kiambu or whatever, with the former governor of Kiambu. where they were saying that they might even form a coalition with Gachagua in the future. And we see Gachagua is already forming a coalition with Martha Karua, okay? And we see Matiangi there, who everyone is also talking about. They might find, they might join hands, okay? And now we see him with Sifuna. So you can see that Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, Jeremiah Kioni, these guys are, they are, like I said, they're the new Tanga. They're trying to form all this coalition. They're basically the same recycled, corrupt politicians who are trying to convince the public that they're the opposition, and they're going to coalesce and make this whole big coalition against Ruto to floor Ruto into 2027, which we should reject them. But let me just start and entertain this nonsense for a minute. Let's get started with Sifuna, and what Sifuna says that people are thinking maybe Sifuna is, maybe he might be thinking twice about continuing on with in this ODM party, because ODM seems to be, we've known this for a while. ODM seems to be like a regional party now. It's working Kaluma and Wanga and saying all this. Let's get to it. Let me not waste your time. Let's get started with the first video. Here it is. If you're joining me, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, please like, share, subscribe. The first order of business is to like the video, okay? Then subscribe if you haven't subscribed, share, like, comment, and all the good stuff. Here is Sifuna giving his speech today at that church where Kalonzo Musyoka was in attendance. Ndio hiyo.
Akaniomba tuambatane na yeye. Na ndio maana nimefika hapa kwa mwaliko wake. Huyo Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, kuna watu wamesahau kwamba yeye ni principal. Yeye ndio deputy ya baba Raila Amolo Odinga ndani ya Azimio. Kwa hivyo akipiga simu, sisi wote ambao tuko ndani ya Azimio tuko na jukumu la kupokea hiyo simu na kufanya jinsi ambavyo ametuelekeza. Mimi nataka Mungu aende mbele yetu, aendelee kuinua hili kanisa, awape hekima ya kufanya miradi yote ambayo ile mmesema mnataka kufanya. Mimi kama Sifuna, kidogo ambacho niko nacho, nataka nikuhakikishie kwamba mwezi wa 4 itasimama na hili kanisa wakati tunafanya jambo na nabii. Wewe unajua maandiko kushinda Sifuna, lakini najua maandiko kidogo na mimi. Maandiko yanasema sio mikono yote inaruhusiwa kujenga hekalu la Mungu. Unajua hivyo? Wakati ambapo ulifika kujenga hekalu pale Yerusalemu, yule jamaa aliambiwa, wewe Daudi, kwanza mikono yako ni michafu, imemwaga damu, hauwezi kuruhusiwa kujenga hekalu. Nataka niwaombee kanisa hili ya kwamba hata kwa shida msikubali mikono michafu ikuje ijenge madhabahu ili uwepo wa Mungu ukatae kushuka juu ya madhabahu. Sasa sisi ambao umetuona hapo, mimi huyu Sifuna najua mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu yangu nikikupatia haiwezi kukunyonga. Sijaibia mtu, sijawacha yatima mahali, sijanyang'anya mjane chochote, ni kidogo lakini nikikupea Mwenyezi Mungu atashukia hapo kwa hiyo mkono. Hata kwa hii huduma yenu ya TV, ukiangalia M-Pesa utaona jina ya Sifuna. Nimekumina kitu hapo ndani ili injili iendelee kutembea. Na umeniambia nisimame imara. Hadithi ambayo umetupatia historia yako hapa, umetoa ile karai ulikuwa unatumia kuchoma mahindi na ndio imekuleta umefika hapa. Ukiona mtu ambaye hasahau mahali alitoka, wewe ndio mtu mwenye hekima. Unajua saa hii nabii, kuna watu ndani ya chama changu cha ODM wamesahau chama kilitoka wapi. Wamesahau ni nini chama cha ODM kinasimamia. Wengine wananiambia sasa wamechoka kutetea wananchi. Wanasema hawakuzaliwa kukaa ndani ya upinzani. Wanasema wamechoka kutetea haki zenu. Mimi nataka niseme vile umeniambia hapa, mimi nitazidi kusimama kwa ukweli. Kama kitu ni kibaya, kitu ni kibaya. Na tutasema ni kibaya. Wale ambao wanasikia wamechoka. Kama umechoka kutetea wananchi, umechoka kusimama na haki, wewe ondoka ndani ya chama, wewe uingie tu UDA mara moja. Ukue huko na mtu, si ndio? Kwa nini unajifanya wewe unapenda rais sana, mtu ambaye anasimama na chama kingine? Wewe umesahau wewe ni mwana ODM. Kama wewe umechoka na ODM, ingia tu kwa Ruto direct, mkue huko, tujue nyinyi watu wa UDA na sisi tubaki kutetea haki za wananchi. Tuko pamoja hapo. Wanasema kwa Kiluya, "Olabona luchi mtenya." Abalwe bilio wangu. Ukiona mtu unakauka, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, huo mtu umesahau mahali ambapo ulitoka. Safari ya kukomboa hii taifa si rahisi. Hata wana Israeli walichukua miaka 40. 40 years wakihangaika jangwani, wanatafuta kufika wapi? Kanani. Wewe umejiunga na upinzani tu juzi. ODM umeingia wiki mbili kabla ya nomination. Ushachoka. Unatuambia unataka kufika ndani ya serikali. Serikali ya wenyewe, serikali ya wafisadi, serikali ya wauaji, serikali ya abductors. Tunawaambia nini bwana? Mimi nataka kuambia nabii, wewe bora uendelee kuniombea Mwenyezi Mungu anipe uhai. Na hii sauti ambayo niko nayo, sitatoka mahali ambapo uliko. Ndio msimamo wangu. Wacha mvua ikuje, ama inyeshe, ama jua iwake, mimi nitasalia kuwa mtu wa kusimama na wananchi na kusimama na ukweli. Jambo la mwisho kabisa, ndugu yangu Ndegwa amezungumzia swala la IEBC. Huyo profesa unayemsema Adam Tullow alichaguliwa na chama cha Azimio ndani ya bunge. Na wakati ambapo alichaguliwa, Zakayo wako wameingia kwa store yetu kuchukua hao experts. Hapo wameingia hapo. Alichaguliwa wakati ambapo tulikuwa tunafanya huo mswada ndani ya bunge. Sasa vile wewe mwenyewe umesema tayari ndani ya chama tumeanzisha mazungumzo ya kuhakikisha kwamba tunatafuta replacement wake. We know the law. ODM has more lawyers than we can come. So sisi tuko sawa. Nataka kukuhakikishia Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka ya kwamba umoja wetu kama wanaazimio ni muhimu sana. Inapea hawa watu hope ya kwamba Kenya inaweza kuwa tofauti. Tusifanye lolote kitutenganishe. Tusifanye chochote kitutenganishe, kwa sababu Kenya nzima inaangalia watu wa Azimio wakomboe nchi. Nasikia wakitembea huko wanasema ati mwanaume gani ataangusha Ruto kweli. Acha niwaambie, kuna hadithi ndani ya Biblia jinsi ambavyo Daudi alikuwa mfalme. Unajua hiyo hadithi? Nabii wale walikuwa wanajua familia ya kina Daudi, walikuwa wanafikiria yeye ndio hauwezi kabisa, alikuwa anachunga kondoo, si ndio? Lakini Mungu alipomtuma yule nabii, anamwagia yeye mafuta hivi. Mafuta ilimwagikia nani? Daudi, yule ambaye alikuwa anachunga kondoo. Kwa hivyo sisi kitu ambacho tunajua ni kwamba haijalishi ni nani, sisi tunataka kukomboa Kenya. Tunataka kukomboa Kenya. Hata nabii wetu kukupatia hiyo tiketi, mimi naona unaangusha mtu tu. Kenya tuko watu milioni 50, hawezi kutuambia ati hakuna mtu anaweza kuangusha yeye. Tunataka kuwa na nchi ambayo watu wako huru na nchi ambayo inaheshimu uhuru wa wananchi. Kwa hayo mengi nataka kusema asante sana. Wakati nitapomuita Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka anatoleo kwa ajili ya kazi ya madhabahu haya, sisi wengine wote tutasikikisha yeye. Kwa hivyo naomba kwa wakati huu uniruhusu nabii.
All right, so there Sifuna is basically saying, you know, there are people who, and I think this is a shot to Gladys Wanga and the rest of them, or the Opio and Eyes and Kaluma and Robert Alai, who are very, very vocal in saying that, you know, they are now in the government. They have been given positions in the government, so it will not be prudent of them to criticize the same government or, you know, beat them up. I'm talking about proverbial beating, or, you know, criticizing Ruto or trying to remove them because they're benefiting. They have their experts, panel of experts, whatever the case is, Okinambadi, Joho, and the rest of them in there. And Sifuna is again publicly disagreeing with that stance, which I think it's, you know, noble. He's saying no. We have to say if it's wrong, it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. Regardless of whether the panel of experts are in there or not, we should be able to chastise Mr. Ruto and his government if he's leading Kenyans on the wrong path. And that people should not just say that, oh, we are not going to say anything because we have our own people in there. So I take this as a shot at Gladys Wanga, Opio and I, and the rest of them, okay? Especially the Luo Nyanza affiliated ODM politicians who are basically Raila minions, who think that, they have to lick Raila's buttocks in order for them to survive politically, okay? And Sifuna, if you look at Sifuna might not really need Raila Odinga politically as such at this point of his career. I think he can comfortably leave ODM and still be voted in. I mean, the Western province is pretty much divided at this point. There's some people who still, align themselves with the ODM Raila Odinga, and majority of them are kind of being taken by this Starway wave and these other coalitions that are in Western province. Western province is a very interesting political vote basket, okay? Karibu sana Shi Mariam nakuona. Mabri pia nakuona hapo. Mabri is saying that ukisikia Sifuna, that is the voice of Baba. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm not so sure. Because like I say last week, Sifuna said that in front of Raila Odinga and said that, hey, listen, he said the same thing pretty much, said, I will, in the risk of losing my seat or whatever the case is, if you have to be reprimanded, I will be. I don't mind, but I will speak the truth. And he said what he said. Don't vote. Eric Ayaga is here. Karibu sana. He's saying, leave Luo Nyanza alone. We didn't vote Ruto, so give us a break. I don't know what I said. That Ayaga, I think you missed the point. But karibu sana as you keep on listening. So Opiyo Wandayi had this, and Opiyo Wandayi also had something to say, and he responded. I think he wasn't happy with what Sifuna. He wasn't happy with Sifuna's pronouncements, and he also, came out and said what he said. So here is what Opiyo Wandayi's response after listening to something that Sifuna's,
is what our people must understand. There is a time for everything, and that is what our people must understand. Nobody has stopped you who is outside the cabinet from criticizing the government. You can continue criticizing it until the cows come back home, and do it properly, because I also want to be criticized. I want to be critiqued as a member of the executive for me to deliver services properly. But don't expect me to join you in criticizing the executive. That can't be my work. If it is your work, do it. Do it properly. Do it properly. As I do mine, which is to execute. Since the beginning of last year and towards the end, Kenya has seen some very, very positive changes.
This season, 4 new bombshells enter the villa.
Okay. First and foremost, it is important to appreciate the fact that Kenya is on a positive trajectory. The government of the Republic of Kenya under President William Ruto has done whatever it takes to ensure that first and foremost the economy is back on its tracks and that the country continues to gain positive recognition internationally. Today, we have seen that our credit rating has moved from negative to positive, which is a very, very positive development, if you ask me. It therefore means that we are going to be able to get positive consideration by international lenders and development partners going forward. Secondly, you know that for the first time in very many years, this country has produced enough maize for domestic consumption. And therefore, this country will spend very little money, if any, in maize imports. Similarly, we have been able for the first time in so many years to produce enough sugar for domestic consumption. All these are work towards ensuring that we save our foreign exchange and build the economy. So the economy itself is on a rebound. And everybody is going to appreciate this in the fullness of time. So the government is doing a lot that needs.
Okay, enough of Opio and I's nonsense. Okay, but again, like I said, there seems to be Ayaga is really boiling in the comment section. Let me see what he's saying. Please address those who vote for Kasongo. Leave ODM leaders alone. In all this, we support Ruto to punish Luo's father. Please address the offspring of Wamera oath takers. Okay. So, again, let me address this comment real quick. You know, you can vote for, let's say, you can vote for, all right. If you have presidential candidates, even, let me use Okiya Omtatah, for example. Okiya Omtatah, if he stands up now and says he wants to run for president, a lot of people are very, very, they tell us about his squeaky clean history. His CV on civil rights, fighting for Kenyans is impeccable on the surface. Okay, he seems like someone who I don't know why I'm frozen. Am I frozen, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, I'm back. He seems like someone who. Okay, let me go ahead. He seems like someone who has a squeaky clean, impeccable CV as far as his history of fighting for Kenyans, filing petitions against Ruto and all this and all that. We all know that, okay? Now, you can vote for a candidate like that, but once they win and take power and start governing, that's when the real test comes. So if you vote someone like that, let's say Okiya Omtatah, he becomes the president of Kenya and fails, okay, you still have that right to turn against Okiya Omtatah. Okay, you can turn against Okiya Omtatah and criticize him or even remove him or campaign against him or campaign to remove him. Okay, you can't sit there and say that, okay, it is you as a voter, it's your fault that you voted for Okiya Omtatah. So Okiya Omtatah is punishing us because of your vote. The thing is, Okiya Omtatah has reneged on his promises. If he promised to build roads and improve our healthcare, improve our infrastructure, improve our economy, but if he gets there and fails in all that and turns into a tyrant and a dictator, you can't really point your finger at the people who voted him, because the process, the democratic process of choosing our leaders does not stop on election day. There's still different ways of still we can deal to limit and scuttle his plans of punishing Kenyans, or whatever the case is. So if you start playing these blame games, okay, the oath takers, whatever the case is, to be blamed for Ruto's presidency, okay, even though they are also duped, they were duped by Ruto, the same way Ruto is going to fool the broad-based members of this government. You can't fault these people, anyone, because the process is always continuous. Just because he's in power and he's doing things that he promised, and he's doing things that are contrary to what he promised, that does not mean that it's the fault of the voters. The voters voted for that president or that candidate based on the things that he said he will do in his manifesto. So just because he lied to them, that does not mean that we should be pointing our fingers and say, you are the one who gave us Kasongo, so you deserve the punishment. No. That's the same thing. I mean, okay, let me, Ayaga, let me use this example again. You are I believe you're a strong supporter of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga told us that the servers will be open, we shall have electoral justice, gharama ya maisha itapelekwa chini, we've cornered Ruto, we are going to count all the votes, we'll expose them, Jose Camargo, story mingi. Then what did he do? He ended up joining the very person he was opposing. So should we start pointing our finger to people of Nyanza, people of the lake, Luos? Nyinyi, si nyinyi ndio mlikuwa mnapigia Raila Odinga. Haya, sasa kuleni hiyo ujeuri yenu. Kenya is where it's at because Raila amefanya hivi. Should we do that? Is that fair? You see what I'm saying? Will that be fair? Or you voted for Raila Odinga, ndio huyo Raila Odinga ameenda AU akawacha kwa mataa. The same thing he did in 2017. Should we blame the Luos for doing that? Or people of Nyanza province for voting, or all voters who voted for Raila Odinga? Should we blame them for tumewacha kwa mataa? Because he promised us as gharama ya maisha itakuja chini. He promised us that he will take Ruto down. He'll put atashinda Ruto. You see what I'm saying? So if we start this game of pointing fingers, it's not going to help anyone. How about this? Watu wa Mulima na watu wa Lakeside, Luos and anything between, wakuje pamoja na watoe Ruto na waeke mtu ambaye anaweza kutumikia Wakenya wote. How about that? Instead of starting to say, hey, nyinyi watu wa Nyanza, hey, nyinyi watu wa Mulima. So yeah. Anyway, Mabri saying Opia Wandai is making no sense, just using economics to confuse journalists and Kenyans. Absolutely. Karibu sana Rita Zamit. Please make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment, and put your notification on so every time I come in, you get me. With all due respect, how can you assure the people that Ruto will be ousted? Okay. I can't give assurance because it takes the collective, okay? The people of Kenya. One person cannot actually remove Ruto. Like me sitting here, I can't say that this is how we are going. I can give you ideas of how we can remove Ruto, but are we on the same page as a people? Because it will take majority of us. It's a constitutional democracy. We are a democracy, so to speak, ruled by the majority, okay? That's how our constitution is designed, how we govern ourselves. So if you want Ruto out, to take him out legally, it will take the majority of Kenyans to take him out. So for me, I can only share ideas of how we can do it legally, but I can't give you assurance. I can't come here and say that Ruto is going to be removed on January 29th. That will be a lie, okay? So with all due respect, I can't give you assurance because this is not a one-man thing. This will take the majority of Kenyans. If the majority of Kenyans decide that Ruto should be removed on January 29th or whatever the case is, through a popular revolution or whichever means, then that's when it will happen. But I can't give assurance as one person, okay? So yeah, Labana anasema Western Kenya and Nyanza historically vote where Baba is so we can follow a fly to the toilet. I don't know. Yeah. And I'm asking those 1969 Wamera takers of spring, where has Baba said we as Luos Nyanza, we are going to vote for Ruto, or Watoto wa Wamera oath takers are now thinking for Luo Nyanza? Eric, I don't know where you're going with this, but yeah. Joe, democracy requires an engaged citizenry. Absolutely, it does. And that's what we're trying to do here. People's refusal to hold their elected officials accountable after being elected is on their shoulders. Yes, I do. Yeah. There is no one else to blame. Perhaps the education system as well, slightly, for not properly emphasizing the importance of this. Yes, Nyagaka wants the link. Nyagaka, you shall get the link. Ayaga, you can also come in here and give your 10 cents. If I can only post the link, it's giving me shida apa. Crap. All right, let me try post it one more time as I continue to give you what you need. All right, Nyagaka nakuona karibu. All right, here's the link. Nime post up a link. Yes, like Joey was saying, there is no one else to blame. Perhaps the education system as well, slightly, for not properly emphasizing the importance of this. Yes, Joy, I believe you. I mean, not I believe you. I understand where you're coming from. Yes, people are to blame. We should hold our country, our leaders and all these elected officials accountable. Yes, but it also we have to be educated on how the system works, because majority of the people do not understand how the system works. That's why they feel like they have to, beg these so-called leaders or political whatever. Okay, so yeah, good point. Nyagaka link iko hapo if you want. You can Ayaga, you can also jump in if you want. Joe, but at the end of the day, like 90% of the 90% of the rest of the world, the blame is on the people. Kenya has competent leaders that are worthy of trust, that could lead the country. Life is too easy and people would rather party and watch sports after the burden of casting a vote is completed. I slightly disagree with that comment. I don't think it's a matter of people being lazy or whatever the case is. If we're talking about the Kenyan, I'm talking about the Kenyan context, okay? The world is a little bit more complicated than that. Yes, people like sports and party and all these wonderful things, but I don't think it's as simple as that. But I do get your point. I understand that you're saying people should concentrate more on what's more important things than just sports and partying and drinking. But I think it's more complicated than that. But I get your point. I got your point taken. James Wangi, karibu sana. For James Wangi anasema, for the benefits of all Kenya, Ruto must go. Absolutely. Laban naye anatuambia, African man cannot walk to a woman compound to ask forgiveness. Are you talking about Gachagua? Anyway. Nyinyi lakini, you are too much. Another story, headline that I saw that I found interesting. Let me share with you real quick. I just saw it this morning. It's about the members of the military. Ni kama wako na madeni hata hawezi kulipa madeni yao. It's getting, this might play into, anyway, let me see. According to NTV, simnaona screen hapo hivyo kidogo. I don't know, should I read the article nisome your article? Should I read it? The headline saying, disquiet in military over food subsidy scrap plan. Some say commitments such as loans may force them to forgo meals. Okay? And there's the link on the issue. Okay, it's taking me somewhere else, but whatever it is. All I'm saying is this. Regarding that, if the government start messing up with wanajeshi, I'll just read it very quick. The top brass of Kenyan KDF, Kenya Defense Forces, has ordered the withdrawal of food subsidy program for military personnel from July 1st, 2025. Document seen by Sunday Nation reveal. Let me just say this: if they start meddling with things like subsidies for members of our military personnel, that's a recipe for disaster for Ruto, because when the military starts feeling the pinch, so to speak, they might have ideas of, taking out Ruto. So let's not, yeah. Anyway, Erika Yaga is saying, God will answer praying of the mountaineers. Kumi yangu, kumi yako. God will, we shall reason in 2034, because high chance Ruto will do 14 years is so high. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't even know if Ruto will make it past 2025. So we'll see. Speaking of which, let's here's an interesting story. here's an interesting story that I would like to kind of go through. Do you remember last week the story of Ruto attempting to bribe the AUC candidate from Eritrea? So Gaito kind of sheds light on this whole thing. This is what he wrote real quick. I'll read it real quick for you guys. Again, Ayaga, if you want to come in and speak your mind, you're more than you're more than welcome. Okay. Laban is saying, by 2026, all police must be recalled from Haiti, ready for Ruto re-election parade. Well, Laban, whatever. Nyagaka pia ndio naona ameingia. Let me read this article just briefly, then Nyagaka atatueleza maoni yake very quickly. Okay, so very quickly, let me see. Kenya's bribe allegation for AUC commission election. This is Francis Gaito who wrote this. Take action now. He says, reports are emerging that Kenyan government has been trying to bribe candidates for the AUC chairperson to step down for the Kenyan candidate whose academic credentials are dubious. The first candidate, Fauzia Yusuf Adam from Somalia, claimed to have stepped down for Kenya's Odinga. Nobody knows why, but suspicion is that she received money from Somali oligarchs who've profited from the state capture, smuggling operation through the Kismayu port. The second propaganda from Kenya was that the candidate from Mauritius had stepped down. In the last few weeks, the Djibouti AUC candidate, Yusuf Mahmoud, met Kenyan Foreign Minister Musalia Mudavadi and Luo propagandist on the government payroll led by Aoko Otieno, spread information that he had stepped down, prompting him to deny the allegations. The desperation of Kenyan government is because the 5-time presidential candidate loser Raila Odinga is working with Kenya's President Ruto to win Luo votes for 2027 Kenya general election, and AUC chairs is the prize that Mr. Odinga was promised, with Luos calling him President of Africa. So far, the Kenyan government has spent over $100 million for the Odinga campaign. The allegations of attempted bribery are so grave that they should disqualify an unqualified Kenyan candidate whose academic qualification should be investigated. Okay, so there's strong Nino about this whole allegation here. Them try to appeal for Nino. Penyagaka, karibu sana, maoni yako.
Habari yako Kenya Revolutionary?
Mzuri. Mambo vipi?
Sawa. Pana nilikuja nyumbani, niko Nyaribari chache.
Okay.
Ya Kisii County.
Uko kukwaje?
Mzuri sana. Kila mtu ni mzuri, ni uongozi tu ambao hatuna. Kila kitu ni mzuri.
Si niliona kama
ukienda kila mahali.
Si niliona mmesema nani? Abagusi watachagua nani? Matiangi asimame 2027.
There's everybody saying that.
Sasa si yule mtoto mmemwacha nani? Mmemwacha ile mtoto.
Nilikuwa na kijana yangu lakini walikuwa wanasema hawamjui. Hapana julikana, lakini hao nani kina Raila, Kenyatta, Ruto wanatuharibia pesa yetu. Wametukula hizo pesa zote, wametumia kwenda AU, na huyu Raila atashinda hapo. Na the future election, kama sio Matiangi, we don't see anybody. Hivyo tunaongoja tuone. Ukienda kila mahali Kenya Revolutionary, vile natembea hapa, unapata kila unauliza vijana wija Kanyanya aseme iya wapi kutoka Nyeri. Kila mtu, everybody's mixed up asa huko Kisii ambao when I live in Nairobi, where I stay, where I hang out. Kila mtu, they are hustling, they are doing their thing. Hakuna mtu anawachokosa. Hakuna mtu anaambia mtu fanya hivi, fanya vile. Wanajua what they expected of them and they know what they are doing. Lakini ni uongozi tu ambao hatuna, lakini we hope and pray. And we debate, especially on your show, where we can have a good future and how we can get it. So these 3 guys should be forgotten completely from the map of Kenya's democracy or Kenya's leadership. Ni Kalonzo, Kenyatta, Ruto na huyu Raila Odinga. They should all be forgotten. As huyu Raila, when I was here last time, everybody was saying, you can ask for governor, lakini lazima uwe ni ODM. Lakini sahi hawataki hata, they feel very insulted by Raila because hakuna kazi amewapatia. Not that he doesn't have any power to nominate, but he had the power to choose those guys from lowland to be whatever minister of energy and all that, but he didn't do anything. And that's why you saw the guy from East Kitutu, nani huyu Treshala, hakukubali hiyo kazi nani Ruto alimpatia. So the people here are very insulted with the leadership of today. Na hivyo ndio wanasema they want Matiangi, because they know Matiangi is respected everywhere in the country, especially when he was a minister of ICT and minister of agriculture. The respect was very high. You know, interior ndio ameharibu kidogo, lakini people who remember him for ICT and education, where he really destroyed the cheating of the exams that were there from the 60s when we did the KCP. Lakini sasa amemaliza hizo zote. So Kenya Revolutionary, keep up the debate, keep up the argument, but let us have the future of Kenya more discussed, how we can have a society or a country that is better off. Lakini hii ingine ya watu ambao wametuharibia nchi, let us forget about them. The $100 that they have used to promote Raila for AU, it is gone, and there is nothing we can do. Lakini people in Kenya are more energetic, they have more knowledge to get more money, and let us do the best we could. The population is very high. Every market you go to, Kenya Revolutionary, is full of people, unlike where we grew, some of us grew up. And they are very peaceful, they are very organized. Lakini is leadership ambao tuko nayo tabu. Thank you very much, Kenya Revolutionary, for the opportunity. Na mitakaa hapa kidogo.
Thank you. Naona ndugu yako kutoka Southern Mugirango anasema huyu pen ni mkora wa kisiasa. I came from Kisii but Matiangi ni MCA. Labano unajua ametoka huko kwenu?
Labani anatoka basi. Labani anatoka huko basi, lakini kijana ambayo anazungumza tu. Wacha azungumze, he has a freedom to talk. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sawa. Asante Nyagaka. Nice seeing you again.
Thank you.
Ayaga na kuona na ingia hapa na moto yako ya Raila. Unajua Ayaga naye yeye na baba huwezi kumtoa huko. Haya, endelea Ayaga. You had something to say. Nilikuwa na kinguruma huko kwa chat. Karibu.
Sijui utanipata. Unanisikia vizuri? Kuna shida ya network inanyesha huko vibaya sana.
Pole. Uko sawa sasa hivi, endelea.
Okay, kitu nasema ni moja. Unajua Nyagaka, huyu Penny Nyagaka, these are the people who are the people who are now making us suffer. You know, the same energy Nyagaka, the same energy Nyagaka used to campaign for Ruto. He wants now to use us to catch crows by removing Ruto with the same power. We will not do it for you. You know, you are coming from Kisii and you are always lost. You come from Nyanza, but you always lost. You lost in this sense that you cannot always be on the right side where your people are coming in. You know, people from Nyanza, we always vote wisely and vote for people who, at least even if they have problems, their competency can be put on check. You don't holler around here after campaigning for somebody like William Ruto using all sweet words like godly whatever, and now you are coming here to lecture us of how so and so should be done away with. We should do away with Kalonzo, we should do away with Raila Odinga. My friend, I remember one day this Nyagaka Penny telling us that Raila is not an option. My friend, somebody who is not an option, how is that person that has betrayed you, by the way, unless we have problems in our heads? Someone who is not an option for you, how can that person betray you? Huh? Let us just be sincere. Sometimes we are African. Let us just be honest. Goja, let us just be honest to each other sometimes. You can't call somebody who is not an option for you by that time that person has betrayed you. It is like marrying a wife and then you blame your ex who was not an option for you, or for the payment you are going through. So sometimes let us just be sincere and listen to ourselves. You know, in Africa, the problem we have, we talk too much. We say we have good English, we talk good Kiswahili, but we don't listen to ourselves. If you can sit down, talk to yourself, ask yourself, I'm the same Daka, same time, the year 2022. It is me speaking now. It is me. Let me go to those records. These things are kept here in YouTube. Listen to yourself. In fact, before you speak in any forum, this recorded forum, the first thing you need to say, you ask for apology. Friend, I'm so and so. Let me ask you for apology for what I did and I say, so that when we listen for you, we forgive you as well. But you don't come with bravado, with everything. Now you want to advise us. You made a wrong choice. We cannot listen to your advice. You cannot tell us who is wrong and who is right. You made a wrong choice. You don't want to live with your wrong choice, and you are not sorry for it. We will not listen for you. And for you, my brother, in revolution, let me just say this once and for all. Once and for all. Let me just speak this. Leave Nyanza and Kisii and Western leaders alone. Please leave them alone. Any problem that Kenya Kwanza, yes, you are making noise. Any problem that Kenya Kwanza is doing in this republic, any problem that is going on in this republic, please leave us alone. We don't care. We don't care. My friend, we are like people who, you saw that kid whose father was killed with a knife in Madar. That kid has lost hope. The life will be hard on him. He must have and thicken his skin for whatever comes. But you cannot pray for having a good life, calling the name of God in vain, using the name of God in a murderer, using the Bible to dupe people like Hitler, using all sorts of nonsense to lure people to follow you, and lure my brother, good brother like Nyagaka, to believe in your way. People who can easily be cheated like him, to easily follow you.
You are repeating yourself.
Easily follow you and vote for you and turn your back again in very few minutes. My friend, leave us alone. We know what we are doing. When Ruto came to us to help him stay in power, we will help him stay in power until endeavors ile siku atatoka, tutakuwa na yeye, kwa sababu number one, Ruto was voted with one solid reason. Ruto is not Uhuru Kenyatta. Ruto na mtoto wa Maumau si Uhuru Kenyatta. He will see fire. You know us.
So
yes.
So Ruto won. Ruto won 2022.
Yeah.
He won?
Yes, you know, yes, maybe there was gerrymandering by the foreign states, yeah. The foreign countries, there was this gerrymandering that happens. But when the Supreme Court has confirmed it, my friend, believe me not, I'm a believer in rule of law and I follow constitution. And that is what makes us all equal.
So why was Raila going to Mandaman?
I remember I opposed those last year's March 2023 Mandamano of Sofre. I opposed it. Yes, I opposed it. Now, if I speak, me one in a solid because I'm consistent. I don't change goalposts like this. My brother who want to interrupt me here. I don't change goalposts. If
I want to give him a chance to rebut to what you say.
We will rebuttal, but number one, he must ask the viewers for the forgiveness. For the forgiveness. Forgiving a bad leader. And now you want us, the people who oppose the bad leader.
Give him a chance so he can rebut. Let him say.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kenya Revolutionary. You cannot direct, my friend, my brother, you cannot direct as to how I answer your question. Raila was not an option for me in 2022, and it's not going to be today with his Ruto. They can't. And you cannot tell me, you cannot. Just as much as I cannot tell you, you cannot tell me that I should not say anything about Nyanza, Western, Nini. I have an opportunity, I have a right to say anything that I have to say. Yes, I was one of the biggest supporters of Ruto. I agree with that. I have apologized to Kenya Revolution, he will tell you. I've apologized to every medium that I've gone. Huyu alitudanganya, alitudanganya. He's a criminal of the first order. Lakini kama wewe ndugu yangu, if you have never made a mistake, then you have a right to tell me that. I made a mistake, I owned up to it, and I will continue to say the following. As of right now, Kenya Revolutionary, please make sure that your show continues the way it is. Let everybody speak. Let somebody like this guy speak as much as they can. But tuone ya kwamba, where do we go in the future of the Republic of Kenya? The future of the Republic of Kenya, personally, I could say, does not belong to Kalonzo, does not belong to Raila Odinga, does not belong to William Ruto, does not belong to Kenyatta. Anybody can come and pursue the leadership or pursue the way that we need to push the country forward. But these 3 or 4 people that have ruined the country. Hiyo tu ndio mimi nasema. Lakini kama mimi nasema ninakuudhi, I make you mad, I make you this, so be it. Na kila mtu ako na right ya kusema ile anataka kusema. Na kama mimi nakuudhi, I'm sorry. I have to say what I mean to what I say. I mean what I say. I will not apologize just to you. I've apologized to everybody. I was one of the pushers of the bottom-up economics. Come to realize that this guy didn't know what bottom-up economics was. Kenya Revolution, bottom-up economics raised Europe after the Second World War. Bottom-up economics raised Eastern European countries after the devastation of the Second World War. Na hiyo is an economic theory about tutaendelea mbele sana, lakini huyu mtu wa kujua. You cannot tax people to steal like Ruto is doing. And there is a wastage of money ambayo anatumia kupatia Raila kazi. Na ofyo, this is height of stupidity. Lakini hiyo yote tutawaja, tutaendelea pole pole. We come down so that we can know how the future of our nation be. Thank you very much, Kenya Revolutionary.
Okay, nicely put. Ayaga, are you satisfied with Nyagaka's apology? You asked him to apologize. He already apologized before.
Siwezi kwa sababu you need to apologize and be remorseful for your apology. You don't ask apology. Rudisha volume chini kidogo. You can't ask for apology and then you brag about it. My friend, you can't come here and say I apologized for Raila was not an option, and now Raila and his Ruto. You are Ruto. Say Raila and my Ruto is not the problem, because Raila never voted for Ruto. It is you who bring him into power. It is not Raila's. It is you. So say my Ruto and Raila. Let us just choose our words correctly.
Ayaga, let me defend him a little bit. You know, when you go to election, okay, everyone see things differently. You might sit there and see that Raila metosha. Somebody else might see that Ruto metosha. For whatever reason. Maybe Ruto is lying to us, is lying at that point, but he sounded believable at that point. Maybe Raila was lying to us at that point, but he sounded believable at that point. So if one loses or one wins and becomes the president and starts doing things that he didn't promise, or that he promised he will do, but he's not doing, you have a right to say, okay, I was wrong in choosing this leader because he became president and turned into something else that I thought he was not. If I was in Nyaga, I would not even apologize. Why should I apologize? I just made because I'm letting you go. I'm letting you go ahead and answer. I'm just saying, at the time when I was voting for that candidate, I believed in what Ruto said, but he turned out to be something else. Shetani, Kabuti. So why should I apologize for voting for him while Ruto also lied to me? The same way Raila also lied to his followers that he's going to bring down Ruto and bring Garama and Maisha. Now he's going to AU. You should apologize. Go ahead, Ayaga.
You know, okay, what I know is only one thing. In Kenya, people don't to read Constitution of Kenya. Ni kama akili yenu imekwama bado kwa ile independent constitution ile ya Moi na Kenyatta na partially Kibaki's administration. Naona akili ya watu wengi imekwama hapo. You know what we have a new constitution, a very progressive constitution in Kenya, like the one of United States of America. You know, if Trump now thing today, you can't go for Kamala Harris and start blaming Kamala Harris or recognize Trump as the president of that nation. He's a raya. Yeah, we don't have a opposition leader. I'm challenging anybody, anyone who knows that article in our constitution, where if you are defeated, because in election there is no number two. As per our constitution now, there is no number two. There is only the winner. The rest are raya like me and you. Where are you going to blame Raya that has lost an election for his political alignment after election? Why are you blaming him, by the way? And to make matter worse, he went out and choose and vote for that person that is now aligning with. You should be happy. You should celebrate him. That was a choice. That was your choice. And your choice is now getting back up. Why are you complaining, my brother? Election, every time you go to elect a leader, you have a 5 years contract with that leader. That is what Constitution is saying. Unless we are here to lie to ourselves. Now, when you go to the booth, from MCA to president, you are making a contract of 5 years. Whatever happened in between, it is not other people's business. It is not any other person's business.
Ayaga.
It is you who made that decision. I'm asking my brother Nyagaka Penny to go and read the Constitution from article number 93 to around 97 up to 98. We have parliament, we have presidential system of governance where if the president is elected, we don't have opposition. It is parliament that has three roles: representation, oversight, and legislation. So oversight role is left primarily for the parliament. So what happens when the government, the executive go rogue? It is parliament who should come up and speak on behalf of the people of the republic. That led by the majority leader. The majority leader, relax. Majority leader should come out and tell you people, is zimeni hizo vitu inamleta too much echo kidogo. Yeah, the majority leader is the one who should lead the nation in criticize the government. If majority leader is Kimani Chungwa, who has gone to the bed with the government, what is wrong with that? With us, you are going to look at Raia like Martha Karua. You are going to look for a fellow mwananchi like Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Odinga to come and oppose the government for you. We vote for people who do not read constitution. Hata hawa watoto wanaita Gen Z walitumia akili, walijua mahali shida yetu iko ni parliament. Ndio maana walienda kuchoma parliament. Hawakuenda kufuata Raila kuja atupingie apinge huyu mtu. They never blamed Raila. They went to the street and they know where their problem lies, and they went straight to the parliament. That's where our problem is as per constitution. So I think this Gen Z people, they should come at least and advise us, kwa sababu naona wengine wetu akili yetu bado imekwama kwa ile constitution ya Moi. We still talk of opposition, we still talk of sijui so and so, political personality, the losers of election. In the United States, when you lost an election, you disappear. Nobody asks you anything. After that, they ask their representative, their leaders who represent them, elected one in parliament, in executive and judiciary. But if our parliament has failed, nobody blames Wetangula in leading a failed parliament. They only look for Raila Odinga. If our judiciary is not doing its work, nobody is blaming Martha Koome for leading an institution that is not giving justice to Kenya. The people are telling us it is now uncertain Raia who has no fees, has no budget, has nothing to come out from his comfort zone with his own resources to oppose us, to oppose a government that they themselves elected. I think, my brother Nyabaka, you need to actually familiarize yourself with the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And if you don't do that, look for this Gen Z. Look for this Gen Z, our total walienda kwa street. They know where the problem lies. They never walk to Karen to ask for Raila why the government is not doing its function. They went straight to the parliament and wakachoma partially the Supreme Court, because those institutions are in charge with the oversight for the government. I think
wacha Agaka pia nafasi ya ninio Aribata, alafu niseme yangu pia. Haya,
wacha niambie huyu mheshimiwa kwamba mimi I've seen so many constitutions. This Kenyan constitution is a model against as the American constitution. And my friend, you can, as of right now, Trump is the president of the United States. Lakini ukiambia who is the opposition leader, is the Democrats. It's the Democrats that can come forward. Ni huyu ambaye atakuwa speaker ya Congress, ni nani. It is possible. That is where we are in Kenya today. Who is the leader of the opposition? It can be anybody. So kuniambia ni formalize na constitution ni watoto walifanya hivi na vile, that is neither here nor there. Because for us to have the leadership of tomorrow, we'll have to, kama huyu Matiangi is the proposed leader of the opposition, so be it. Kwa hivyo, don't really tell me about the constitution so much that I have read so many constitutions about you have not even fathomed to see. I've seen them. Lakini isio hiyo ya JLC kuchoma at the parliament, kuchoma hii, na they went here, they went there. That is democracy, my friend. You can form that from any position. You can argue from any place. Unaona? Now, kitu moja tu, I will not even talk as much as you've been talking. Our constitution is modeled against the US Constitution, which is a presidential constitution that whoever is out of government, really Trump was out, it is who argues for the best of their party that becomes the leader of tomorrow of that party, like they beat Joe Biden. Now this time in Kenya today, the person that could try to beat Kenyatta, Ruto and Raila, they are together now in government. Whoever argues their position back is the leader of the opposition at that time. It was not intentionally put there, like the British constitution, which has an opposition office, an opposition this, an opposition that. With us, we left the opposition open, like the United States Constitution. Hiyo tu ndio nitakwambia. Yoyote ambao unazungumza is neither here nor there. It's just hot air. Thank you.
Thank you. I wanted to say this in response to Ayaga. Ayaga, even if Ruto was voted as the president of Kenya, and it says that the first he's to be voted for 5 years, then if he wins again, he runs again another 5 years. But just because he's been voted in does not mean he has to finish those 5 years. The contract does not say that he must finish those 5 years. That is one thing that you need to understand. So just because he's the president does not mean he must finish those 5 years. We can remove him even after 1 month if we feel like he's the wrong choice. And there's through parliamentary through the parliament they can be a vote for motion to vote for a motion of no confidence where they'll vote him out. If our parliamentary our National Assembly would do, we can impeach him. I think it's Article 145 or something where we can impeach the president. Okay. And number two, if the parliamentarians, those National Assembly legislators, fail us, because you are right that there's no so-called opposition. Ideally, as you've mentioned, the legislative body is supposed to oversight, check the president. But here is a case. What usually happens is the president always comes from the president's party in the legislative body always align themselves with the president's agenda. And the other parties are what we call opposition. You see what I'm saying? But ideally, the whole legislative body should always review everything that the president does and oversight what he does. So if he's out of line, they check him. Okay? So you're right. There's no as that says that it's opposition, but it is their responsibility. Now, here in Kenya, we are in a situation where the whole legislative body, senators and the MPs, have been bought. They've been compromised by Ruto. That's why people who voted for these MPs who got there and failed us are no longer advancing our interest. They are no longer representing us. We, the people, are saying that we want to exercise the power that we delegated to them directly. Okay? You remember when that person was in that and we say the people may. Remember him? He was making a very good point. So at this point, this delegated duties has been delegated to the legislative body, judiciary, and executive, and all these independent bodies. But in the event that we feel that they're not representing us anymore, we, the people, can exercise that power directly, even if it's 1 month after Ruto is president, or 2 months, or 1 day. If we feel like Ruto anatuangusha, tunaweza tukachukua hiyo power na tumtoe. Si lazima amalize hiyo 1 term. That's why you see people posting in your Gen Zs and everybody else are posting on X saying, sio lazima amalize hata hiyo 1st term. We can remove him right now. And that's why I'm saying, si lazima. It's not just to correct you, but you're correct that there's no designated, hakuna parliamentary these are the opposition or whatever. You're right about that. Anyone can be opposition. Even Martha Karua can be opposition. Wewe unaweza kuwa opposition. Nyagaka can be opposition. We all have the news. So in a democracy, kila mtu mpaka hawe active. The process, everyone has to be active, check each other. Just because you voted for somebody does not mean that they will advance your interest as he promised us, because they might fail you. That's why I gave an example of, for those of you who support Raila Odinga told us he will make sure that kutakuwa na electoral justice. He will bring gharama ya maisha chini. Yakaenda akapiga kona akasema, mimi naenda AU, na akasalimiana na Ruto. And his supporters were like, tena hiyo mambo ya gharama maisha imeenda wapi? Yeah, but he's no longer even talking about it anymore. So we can see both Raila Odinga, Ruto, and all these leaders, they're just talking nicely, but they don't care about our interest. That's why we are saying, wote, hiyo gandawala yote, oganda yote, waende. Ama namna gani Ayaga? Ameenda. Ayaga's left anyway. Nyagaka, did you have anything to say? Niendelee na orodha. Okay. All right. We are karibu sana Gypsy Corner. Karibu Gypsy. Anyway, sasa ni saa 3 and it's been an hour. Kuna mechi ambayo nataka kuangalia, but I will there's something I wanted to talk about that I just forgot. Eric ameishia. Okay. Anyway, kuna kitu nilikuwa nataka kuongea lakini nimesahau. So Anyway, guys, I'll stop here. Crap, my thingy may. All right. I'll stop here, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Penya, thank you for joining me on the studio. I will just stop here. It's been an hour. Wacha nikangalie mamechi kidogo. But I want to thank Ayaga, Nyagaka, Gypsy Corner. You came in late, but ni sawa. I'm still mourning the loss by Chelsea. Ile ilishindwa jana. Principal Kaur, karibuni sana. One day pia nimemwona hapo Labani Misiani said yule. I may come back later. Joe, hebu nisome ninyo zenu kidogo. Labani is saying AU seat is not a reason to compromise Raila. In the next AUC chair, Calm is returning to Haiti. Joe was saying, what did Joe say? Philosophical question. Will you support 10 or 20 years of authoritarian rule over Africa if it ultimately will lead to economic development that put Africa on par with China and USA after that period? Yeah. That's a very loaded question. That's a very loaded question.
No, there is no way you can compare China and the United States and Africa. Africa has not even gone to the direction of improving their economy the way the Chinese have done, the way the Americans have done. We are backwards. We are being led by thugs and criminals. Kama kuwa led by half of the countries like in Burkina Faso, then we can continue. Then we can foresee us getting to the level of China or United States. We cannot, as of right now. Personally, Kenya Revolutionary, I'm sorry for butting in. As of right now, we are too far behind. And look at our nation, Kenya, today. We are fighting over nothing, zero. Na hiyo ndio wanapigana wanasusiana ambao people are giving birth today. Watu wamechaa everywhere. The land is small. There is nothing. There is no direction. There is no future. None. So to compare us to where China is, where America is really not there, because China was where we were, even worse. But they formulated their own policies. They formulated where they directed their nation never to have a population that was raising by what it is. Right now, China is at 0% population growth. And it was very, very painful. In the 80s and 90s, it was very painful. You have to have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And a lot of girls were killed. It was painful. But that was for them to develop economically. Sasa hii, ukija hapa Kisii, they're having 4 or 5 kids. How can you develop? How can you do anything? There is no government policy about inasema, how these people are going to be educated, how these people are going to be whatever they are going to do tomorrow. And that is, I'm giving Kisii because I'm from there, but that is everywhere in the country. So we are really, really, the question is well meant. The land we have is beautiful in Africa. Everything is wood. It's only the leadership that we are failing completely. Thank you.
Thank you. Gypsy saying, did you know that one them face joining Conman Raila to Addis for 15 days and the government paying? Moses Kuria confirmed on X. What? He's Yelevi. Ebu andika tena, Gypsy. What do you mean? That is somebody's joining Nania Uko. Sorry. Yeah, I think Joe was asking let's say, for example, Nyagaka, would you rather have a system like tuseme authoritarian rule kama ya unakumbuka Gaddafi? Gaddafi was said to be a dictator, whatever the case is. But Gaddafi alileta maendeleo Libya. Whatever was free, education was free. Ukioa ulikuwa unapewa pesa ya kununua nyumba with very low rates, loan ya kuninio, your mortgage, something like that. If you wanted higher education, he would send you to whatever university you want in US or UK, all paid for by the government. And, he really brought great economic change. In fact, they had reserves worth 500, was it, how many, some trillions. Alikuwa hawana debt. So the question was, would you rather have that kind of leadership, but your leader is authoritarian, though mko na maendeleo na hii mambo yote, or have a democracy and have a messy country like we do? That's the question we were asking.
I would rather have Burkina Faso type of government, which is open but directed
by the military,
which has a good direction about the agricultural policies, clearly feeding its people. The economic policy is very clear. The Rwanda one could be the best example of where Gaddafi was. But Gaddafi, you have to remember that he had a lot of money from the oil. Of course, he wasn't using that money to invest in Europe anywhere, invested in society, which was good. But not all the countries in Africa are well endowed like Gaddafi's Libya was. So the one in Burkina Faso, where they are struggling to have their gold, where they are struggling to do everything that they have to do, that's a good endeavor. That's a good theory. Yeah, kwamba we will do it. We can do it. And they do.
Ibrahim Traore amesema anataka ku step down, and people are saying he shouldn't step down. The people are protesting and wanamwambia asi step down as the leader.
Yes.
So, very interesting. Anyway, there was something up on anasema ati Moses Kuria what is Moses Kuria?
Yeah, man.
Confirmed as one day emphasis. I don't know what's okay, Gypsy, I'm not understanding. Moses Kuria is going to join Baba in the next 15 days. That's what you're saying. Uko Addis Ababa. Huyo jamaa akishindwa sasa sijui tuta I don't know why Ayaga left, but nilikuwa na maswali kwake, but ameenda. Anyway guys, wacha nimalizie hapa. It's been 1 hour. Nyagaka, asante sana kwa kunijoin. It's nice seeing you after a while. Usipoteange sana hivyo, hata sasa uendelee kupiga kampeni ya nani, anaitwa nani huyo kijana wa nini hiyo, huyo kijana wako huyo mdogo, but anyway guys, I'll talk to you guys later. If you're going to watch this on on repeat, please. Oh, it's a lady from media. Okay. Subscribe, share, like, comment. Thank you, Gypsy Chip. Thank you, One Dem. Thank you, Pritpal Kaur. Thank you, kila mtu. Tutaonana Laban. I'll see you guys later. Peace and blessing. I'm out.